Today I'm going to tell you something you've been taught that's wrong about identifying suspects. Hi, I'm Larry K, ShadowAnyone.com, and the creator of the Investigator's Ultimate Guide series, premium private investigator training from someone who's been there and done that. Now, you know when you look at someone, a suspect, maybe somebody that's fleeing or somebody that's at the scene of an event or a crime, that you're going to try to get a quick look at them as long as you can and impress in your mind what you're seeing so you can recall it later. Of course, the fundamentals, as you know, are race, gender, and age. So you might very quickly be able to say adult white male or juvenile black female. But then when you're getting information about the subject and trying to identify them later, it helps to have a pattern that you follow when you're doing this, and I recommend going from top to bottom. So you may say adult white male with long blonde hair, you see a red ball cap and maybe red shirt, a gray sweater, blue jeans, and black shoes. And you go from top to bottom just like that. So that when you come back later, you say adult white male, long blonde hair, you had red hat, red shirt, gray sweater, blue jeans, black shoes, and you're able to recall in the same way that you noticed and remembered. It's a lot better to get a specific thing and know it's solid than it is to get a variety of things and not be sure. So to be able to say later, yeah, for sure, this guy had a mustache, it was a graying mustache, kind of came down along the edges of his face. That's a lot better than he might have been wearing glasses and I think he had facial hair, but I don't remember exactly what. So trying to get those specifics will help you quite a bit. Now, when it comes to elements of the face, especially for you if you struggle with the fact that people tend to look the same to you, you can look at individual elements of the face and especially things that don't change, of course, like the ears. Do the ears kind of look droopy or hang down? Are they pressed back against the head? The length of the nose is something that can be helpful, and the width of the nose. I personally will like to check out to see the chin. Is there a divot in the chin? And does the person have a flat chin? And those types of things. So you can get these specific things. Sometimes you'll have a very easy recognizable thing. I remember one guy, when I first saw him, immediately, of course it leapt out at me, was this face tattoo. It was the logo of a major sports team. Now, I met him under some kind of seedy circumstances, wasn't entirely sure who he was, but the other guys that were around kind of knew and were a little bit afraid of him. He had just gotten out of prison, and they had pretty much agreed that he was not going to make it 30 days as an upright, legitimate civilian. He had just gotten out of prison 5 or 6 years for robbery, and he proved them all wrong. He actually made it about 6 months before he went back on a burglary charge. But you know, the first time I meet this guy, I don't know his name, I don't know who he is. I've got to get a good visual description because I've got to pass that on to a contact I have. And you know, I'm really fortunate in this case that I have that distinct face tattoo to latch onto. Now, here's what you've been taught that's wrong. Of course, you want to concentrate on more permanent things and not so much maybe even on the clothing necessarily, because the clothing can change and sometimes very fast. So you want to concentrate on more permanent things like the length of the nose, the color of the eyes, those types of things. There's one exception. A lot of places will teach you don't worry about shoes because they're so temporary. I'm going to say take a look at the shoes. The shoes will change less often than you might think, and frequently they're very distinct. Especially if you come across this person in the next few minutes or hour or so looking for them, the shoes might be a very helpful thing. But they are also something that people tend to wear over and over again. It's not written in stone. I know of one homeless guy in particular who changes the shoes he wears more often than I do. And it's because every time he passes out someplace, people steal all of his stuff, including his shoes, so he's constantly going down to the church and getting a new pair of shoes every week or so. The cat's wearing a different pair of shoes. So, of course, it's not a die-hard rule. Different people have varieties of shoes that they wear for different outfits. But If you've learned that the shoes aren't important and don't concentrate on them, I'm going to say try it out. It's a quick, easy way to get a pretty solid, unique identifying thing on this person that's unlikely to change in the short run. This is Larry K, shadowanyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.